Forgot to hit record. Doesn't matter. I missed the start of the theme. It's all right.
Hey,
Working with amateurs.
ball at the 5, third down and 2. That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding.
Cliff. The Cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't gonna call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie guys. AJ here. G chillin'. His daughter's birthday and happy Easter, I should say.
And happy Easter. Yes. Is it? Did he rise today? I have no idea, mate.
I'm sorry. What? The Easter Bunny?
Did he? No, the Easter Bunny rise today. Did it?
Yeah.
From the crucifix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
if you want to confuse kids, there's a good way to do it.
he doesn't have to worry about COVID-19. So,
No, I don't think he has to worry at all. Neither does Easter Bunny.
well, that's right.
No, a tiger got it, but where was it? In New York City, the zoo or something. But I haven't heard it being passed on to bunny rabbits yet. But.
No. So listen, a big event pod.
Yes.
Gee. It took a bit of
over.
organisation, but we actually will have 6, including us, on for, and I called this a flex pod. And G, you should explain the rule. Well, actually, let me just introduce people.
Get everybody on.
So let's get everybody on. So we have Kyle and Seth, the FF fellas. Let me put them both on. Hey guys,
Hello.
warm welcome to you.
Thanks for having us, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah, at least.
It is.
Yeah,
Too long.
Too long. Mate, if it's better this way, because if we were neighbours, you'd be sick of me already. I'd be popping over all the time, annoying you, borrowing shit off you, throwing my grass clippings and hedge clippings over your fence because I don't want them, filling up my bin, stuff like that. That's the type of neighbour I am.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, and we also have now someone may be having problems with their mic, so let me introduce... Oh, problems with their mic. Boom. Shh. Let me introduce Mike Jernigan. This is the mic we don't have problems with. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for joining us.
Not yet, anyway.
Give it time.
Good segue. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Nah, man, it's great to see you again. It's been a while for you. Like the other guys. Yeah, it has. I'm trying to think the last time we actually were on a pod together. Man, I reckon it was. Geez, it would have been last year.
It would have to be
last year. Yeah, I think a mock draft we did probably on the fellas, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
maybe
the yeah.
Bringing people together.
That's what we're all about.
Yes.
Social distancing, though, when we bring them together, okay?
Yes, sir. 100%. I'm with you.
Absolutely.
We just got to make sure the distances between our windows are... How do you convert?
1.5.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So we're missing somebody.
We are. Let's introduce him and get him on screen. We have Randy Memphis Young from the Dynasty Warzone Randers, but I think he's having trouble with his mic. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We'll see.
So,
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yay, we can.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Oh, can you hear us?
More than I want to. I can hear you enough.
There he is.
Yeah, he's
Mike,
here. That's
cheers.
the real guy.
Good work.
Mike's got beers going, mate. What time is it? Oh, no, it's 11:18. I can do it. All right, you keep going. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, all right. Drink them if you've got them.
Rolling chair. Away.
Well, the man who was going to introduce the concept is actually gone. But what I'll do is I'll start. So, very nice,
Damn.
G.
Wow.
Man, he doesn't drink that when he comes on our show.
He drinks from the bottle too.
Throw the cap away.
Ah, gee. Hey,
Cheers,
listen,
boys.
That is high quality stuff. So.
Cheers.
Cheers. To social distancing.
Cheers.
mine's boring. I'll have to get a beer
That'll
later.
get me going.
All right. So, G, hey, listen, do you want to introduce the concept and I can support you by putting something up on the screen as you do?
Okay, so the concept is I've been listening to a lot of pods, and a lot of people are doing mock drafts, and I think we're at the stage where, believe it or not, guys like Saquon Barkley, Michael Thomas, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, these they're going in the first round, believe it or not. And I don't know how many times I can listen to people doing like 2 or 3 round mock drafts drafts of the same people. So I thought, well, what we'll do is a little bit different. Is, mate, you always have that flex spot on your roster. Some have one, depending on what type of league you're playing in. Some have two. Some have, geez, you can flex in most of your players. But the point is, you sort of have these flex guys, and it's like, who do I put in my flex spot on any given week? Like, comes down to matchups and things like that. So I thought, let's just do a mock draft of the flex spot. So we're gonna put together a team of flex spots guys. So we have one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, and a tight end. So just something a little bit different, just a bit out of the norm because we're Australians and we're a little bit odd.
And G, what you should say is that we do have so basically from quarterback, you've got the top 12 removed. So you might be able to read this on your screen or not, but so that goes all the way down to Jared Goff at number 12. This is from the Fantasy Pros PPR Dynasty rankings.
Rankings, yes.
Yep.
So we have 12. The top 12 quarterbacks are gone, unavailable.
Yep.
The top 24 running backs, unavailable. Top 24 wide receivers, unavailable. And the top 12 tight ends are unavailable. So there's a ton, well, I was going to say there's a ton of guys. There is a ton of guys, but the quality that we're going to put together on these teams will be something to behold, to be honest. Be quite interesting to see where people go of our guests today, because some might go for the fact that they're proven commodities, and some people might take upside guys that they see going into if we have a 2020 season, that is. Sort of guys that might flash this year. So
listen, if you
that's
want
the concept.
If you want to look on at home, just go to Fantasy Pros and just make sure you got PPR Dynasty rankings, and then you can scroll down and you can see and go quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. So we're taking the first 12 quarterbacks off the board, the first 24 running backs off the board, the first 24 wide receivers off the board, and the first 12 tight ends off the board. My Lord. So you can have a look on there and you can follow along. All right, let me go back to this one here. Okay, and the other thing, G, is I was going to say, so I've done a draft order, and bear with me for a minute because I'm going to pull it up here. So the draft order here, so Memphis luckily got the 101, followed by Kyle, Seth, myself, G, and Mike at the turn, and we're doing a snake draft. We'll go backwards, up and down, up and down, up and down, and I'll record the picks in here as we go.
Great. Well, you're in charge of this thing, mate. Let's get it rolling.
All right. Well, Randy, when you're ready.
You guys understand the idea, the concept?
So the only thing I want to clarify is that are we doing? I think you did a good job. The only thing I want to clarify is, are we drafting these teams with the idea of only 2020, or are we drafting from a dynasty perspective?
G.
Well, no, it's like a redraft, but it's sort of, mate. To be honest, I sort of looked at it as you're drafting them from a redraft sort of perspective.
You gotta ask the hard questions, Kyle.
Hey, man, I'm just making sure when I draft some
they
old fart.
You on the show, you come on the show, you disparage their work, throwing them under the bus.
I don't think that's
Sorry, I don't know what the proper Australian term is.
No. I don't even know what to say with that. No, I'm good, man. I don't want to draft like anyone that's over the age of 26 and then get killed out there on Twitter because I'm drafting old people.
Yeah.
See, and then we got a good question right here on the screen. Right? Dynasty or redraft?
Yeah. Well, no, redraft.
That guy's asking.
Redraft.
Does it make a diff? Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
sure it does.
Yeah, but I actually had a look, and when you look at it, it does drop a few older guys down. Like Drew Brees is one that really drops from redraft, but pretty much it's the movement's not a hell of a lot.
No problem.
Out of the top 24, so to speak, it moves a bit within sort of around that area. The top guys are still the top guys, basically, on any position, whether it's redraft or dynasty. Maybe someone like Julio Jones. Look, in a dynasty, Julio Jones is still number
AJ
11.
Green is a big one to me.
Well, I was checking too, because if we're eliminating guys off of those rankings you pulled up, which is what we're doing, is that a guy like Dallas Goedert, Seth was going to take him at the third pick overall, but he won't be able to do that now. So
no,
Spoilers.
All right, AJ.
Okay.
Let's puppy up.
So, Randy, when you're ready, give us your 101. And obviously, you don't have to go in any order. Like, it's, go with quarterback first, go with tight end first, whatever you like. Whatever's on the board, go for it. Anytime.
Is it super flex? Is my only question.
No, just one QB, mate. One QB. No super flex spot.
No super flex. So with that being said,
Yep.
based on the list provided by you fine gents,
Yes.
it's not easy. It's not a handsome looking board. I am gonna go with one between two. I'm gonna go Robert Woods.
Dang it!
He's gonna get a bump. He's gonna get a bump with the lack of Brandon Cooks there, and so it was between him and another wide receiver. I hated going wide receiver 101, but the running backs at this point are all trash and a dime a dozen. So there you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So with the 101, Robert Woods. Very nice. So, Kyle, you are up.
Man, that was like, no joke. I thought that was the clear and away pick. I'm like, hopefully he's hidden enough that it will sneak through to the second pick. I'm going to go with a receiver as well, and this is a guy that has been in the news because he's on the move, and I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks. I think with this being PPR scoring, I wanted to go with a wide receiver here. I think his upside in 2020 with Houston is pretty high up there. This is a guy that I don't think he's ever going to be, a 1,410 guy, but this guy's been super consistent over the course of his career. He's going to be paired with another great quarterback. How freaking lucky does this guy get? Every damn time he's on the move, he lands with either a fantastic quarterback or a fantastic offense. So plenty of targets available in that offense with DeAndre Hopkins gone. Deshaun Watson's going to be chucking that ball around per usual, and I think Brandon Cooks is going to be the recipient of a lot of that. I know he's got some injury concerns, but for me, I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks to start my team off here with the second pick.
And to be honest,
receivers.
Houston, obviously the Hopkins trade was massive NFL news, but you replace him with Cooks, it's same, right?
According to Bob.
All right, who's up?
Seth
right?
is. Seth.
All right, I will start off the running back run, I guess, here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go David Johnson. He's right outside the top 24. It's super easy to make that decision for me. I know he's been disappointing to owners for a couple of years now, but I believe that the injury concerns and the injury stuff that led to him having a poor season are not something that's going to be necessarily reoccurring. I like the fact that he's in an offense now that does have a lot of targets to go around, even with Brandon Cooks moving in there. Johnson, as we've seen before, it can be an excellent route runner. So I'm fine with him in a PPR format. I'm fine. This is a guy that would be a locked-in, high-end running back 2 for me, no question, going into 2020 this year.
Very nice. Okay, I'm up. So just in time to pick whoever G has got on top of his board.
No, bloody Seth just did it.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to. I'm a little surprised. I'm going to go quarterback because quarterback after the first 12, it surprisingly falls off the cliff pretty quick, like much quicker than I would have imagined. After 12, so I'm going to go for Matt Stafford, who quietly is very handy, a very underrated quarterback. Very handy quarterback. He's good. He's a QB1, really, fantasy-wise, I think, redraft. So I have no hesitation in picking him there, and he's at the top of my board, in fact.
Okay, you can have him. That's all right.
Oh, okay.
I thought the QB area is something I'm going to leave. Actually,
Really?
I can, mate. There's 6 of us here. I can find 6
Man,
QBs on there.
spoiler.
I'll start with. So I'm
Just
not
going
going.
for the fake out.
Oh yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to take a quarterback. No. I'm going to grab a running back. Obviously, David Johnson's off the board. He was at the top of my list. So I like that. I wouldn't mind seeing what Darrell Henderson do. There's a reason they draft him, but I can't do that. Philip Lindsay was another I was looking at, but he's probably Sony Michelle. I'm going to take Damian Williams. I think KC are pretty much going to stick with. They might take another running back, but I think once Damian Williams is there and he's up and going, he's been the guy when he's been available. He seems to prove it all the time that he's the back they like to use. When you look down the rest of this list, it gets at running back, it gets thin really, really quick. So at the moment, he's the guy in KC. So I want a running back that is the guy at the moment. And Damian Williams is my pick. I think they're just going to keep everybody together, keep this unit just by who they've re-signed. They all know each other.
Is this playoff weeks only? Is that all we're counting? Or?
See, now this makes more sense.
Is it just for the Super Bowl?
We've been waiting for this.
We're drafting for the Super Bowl. These are Super Bowl players.
We've been waiting for this freaking backfield to get worked out for it seems like 2 years at least, and it's just a bunch of guys that it was supposed to be Carlos Hyde, man, it's so annoying.
You gotta let it go.
I want them to draft somebody high. Andy Reid, come on, just make it happen. End this.
They don't have a lot of draft picks, actually.
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Freaking.
They've got a Lombardi, so
Yeah.
they're not that
Who
concerned.
Nice.
Okay, Mike. So, hey, hit us with one, and then I'll put the board up, and then you can give us your second one. And you're muted.
We said there wasn't going to be a
There we go.
What was that,
I'm
Mike?
sorry, I
Jameis
apologize,
Winston.
guys.
Oh, no worries.
I thought that's what he said.
Controversial.
So I'm going to go wide receiver first, and that's because I think Adam Thielen, with Diggs gone, has so much opportunity in Minnesota. Obviously Cook is going to want to run the ball, but somebody has to catch passes, and Thielen is far and away the dude there. I think he's going to make a great addition to my team, and I think he's going to have a lot of target opportunity. I love Adam Thielen here at 1-6.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Okay, so a lot more wide receivers went off than I was expecting. Certainly, I think wide receiver is the deepest of the four. So I was a little surprised. Certainly, I mean, you can't knock Thielen, Cooks, or Woods particularly. I mean, they're all great picks, but there's quite a bit more depth, I think, in wide receiver. But anyway, so Mike, do you want to load up your second one for us? Let me go.
Well, I am going to switch it up to running back with my second round first pick. I'm going to go Darius Geis. I know this is somebody who's been injured quite a bit, but if he can just stay healthy, he's got this backfield to himself. And I think his talent, watching his college tape, just shines through. I think this is somebody who's got a lot of upside. When we're talking about drafting guys that are outside of the top 24 in a lot of these areas, to me, Darius Geis is just someone who can easily make his way up there. I love taking him here.
Isn't it unusual, like, how high people still are on guys and, like, two decent serious injuries, and yet people are still willing to give him a chance? That's because Washington don't have everybody else behind him, basically, isn't it?
We're waiting for somebody to hit, in that offense.
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, like history shows us that even in bad offenses, someone usually kind of shines. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Washington is not a good team on paper. Hopefully he'll be Geis, and I'll win this draft pick here.
Excellent. Okay, so that puts me up, doesn't it, AJ?
It definitely does, yes.
Mate, I'd like to go running running back.
Barber?
No, man, these comments are hilarious.
I'm going further down, mate. I'm going way down. Who
Come
we got
on, let's
down?
go.
Let's go. Ito Smith.
Dude, Jernigan, you passed
No.
on Bo Scarborough? Holy crap.
But mate, there's not a ton of people I like. There's like Adrian said, there's a heap of wide receivers. A quarterback I can get, tight end I can get. Running backs is just a cesspool of rubbish.
Yeah.
And look, there's a ton of guys that I like, but I don't trust them. I picked Damien Williams because he also catches passes as PPR. I really like Raheem Mossad, but I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Will you stop mentioning players' names?
He's the best. Just know what's out
Come
there.
on.
Mate, this is the inside of my head working.
This is behind
Alright.
the curtain.
It's behind the. It's tough.
So while he's
It's really
thinking,
tough.
is it more important in this instance to have two solid wide receivers in a PPR league and have one decent running back and one just complete trash running back? Or are you trying to make it as balanced as possible between the two positions? What do you guys think?
Well, I feel like running back is very streamable during the year. I mean, like come week, I was going to say 16, not week
2.
16. Come week 11, 12, you're going to be picking guys up off the waiver wire that are like the third or fourth back. Maybe they're even guys up from the practice squad. Like you can pick up guys like that. So, you know, the guys that you often have at the beginning of the year you think are going to be special, you know, quite often you're diving sort of quite deep come end of the fantasy season.
And we're in a tough spot too, I think, with this because I think we're going to have more available names when we're talking about drafts, post NFL draft.
Oh yeah.
So like right now
Absolutely.
you got a lot of junk in here. The pile of rubbish or whatever G called it. I think that was being kind.
The Mike Boone pile. As Casey McCoy.
Yeah, it's Casey McCoy.
Yes.
points out, yeah.
Mike Boone.
All right, I'm going to make my pick.
All right.
Card pick.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the guy that's only taken 5 years for him to break out.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to
Here we go.
I'm going to stick with AJ's guy, Devontae Parker.
Ugh.
Oof. Mate, if he can reproduce what he showed last year, and there's no saying that he can, but mate, you're with a quarterback that throws a ton of interceptions, but man, he has no problems about hurling the ball downfield. We all have always known what Devontae Parker's athleticism is as a quarterback, as a wide receiver. Sorry. And I'm just hoping that this rolls over into 2020. And if I can get those numbers again off this group of guys that we've got down here, I need a solid number one wide receiver. So I'm solid, jeez. Can't believe I just said that.
Devontae Parker.
Solid
receiver.
I need a foundation.
Solid as Jello.
So I'm going to take
You gotta
Devontae Parker.
clip that and make it just one of your soundtracks.
I think just
Yeah.
Devontae Parker, wide receiver. That I mean,
Yeah.
if we can get that out of him, I think we should be happy. To be honest.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's
I
cool.
don't. I'm scared about that, but I'm gonna trust him that he brings 2019 into 2020.
You have got a solid team of two guys that have done nothing but just show us time and time again that they can be depended on. I love
Matt,
it.
I like people that flash. I like the flashes.
The Flashers. The Flashers.
That's my team. That's my team name.
Once this
Flashers.
quarantine's over, people, find G. Give him a flash. Make his day.
Oh God, that's terrible.
All right, listen, I'll
you-
rescue you. Rookies are not available, by the way. So just to answer that question. So this is just pre-rookie draft. Obviously, the rookie crop would change this landscape a little bit, but we're just doing pre-rookie draft. Now, I'm going to pick a guy who I'm surprised... Well, G's already mentioned like 10 players. I think he was one of these.
Mate, just the inside of my brain turning, mate. Just want to share.
But I'm a little surprised he's still on the board. I'm going to pick Darrell Henderson. And, I mean, the Rams traded up to get him. And I know we haven't seen sort of much of anything from him, but I think we will. And I think he's a fair dice roll at this point, especially when you look at running backs. I think he's a fair dice roll. So Darrell Henderson for me. All right.
Mate, I like Darrell Henderson, and yeah, they did trade up for him.
They did.
Gurley was, oh God, Gurley. I really like Gurley. He's an awesome back.
Now
I have to say that. Now,
yeah, he has to say that now. He's obligated. Yeah, Falcons. Right.
What's
there.
he going to look like in that new uniform with the red blending into the black?
Don't look. Just quickly about the new uniform. I love single color uniforms. I think the Saints all black looks fantastic. I think the Rams all white looks fantastic. I think the Falcons all white and black looks shit.
Dang.
I don't know why they have the Atlanta bit above the numbers. Are they, if they get lost, it's so they know where to go home? I have no idea. The numbers are terrible. Like, I don't know what Nike's trying to do with designing new fonts. I got no idea. How about just stick to block letters? The throwback uniform. Yeah, the old digital clock is terrible.
If there's one thing that screams Buccaneer, it's your alarm clock.
Just wake up in the morning. Arr,
Mate, I really like the single colours. Like the all black at home is great. When I started following them, they wore black with a sort of silvery white pants, which is like the throwback, which looks great. I wish the throwback is the home jersey, to be honest.
Yeah.
They look great. I don't mind the black, though, but it needs a bit more highlight. It needs some more piping on it. Just to make it pop a little bit more and get rid of the Atlanta and just go back to block numbers. But I do love the fact they're going matte black helmets.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
I dig that.
All right. That's enough of the uniforms. We only waited how long? 17 years, 15 years for a new one. And they hand us that shit. I don't know what the fuck they're doing down at Nike. I seriously don't.
They're just recycling the XFL logos as kids.
I just keep waiting, like, for some, like, even when they came in, it was this big deal, like, that they were gonna, take
revolutionize
from the college game and all that.
Yeah.
And like I remember when the first jerseys were unveiled with Nike, and it was like everyone was just the same except the Seahawks. Like theirs was like all like what it is today. But they haven't really rolled anything out there where I've been like, that's cool. Like it's kind of all just meh.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Jaguars helmets that were like half black. Half
I like those, but
nah,
I thought those were cool. I was the only one in America.
It's like
me and Sean or whatever the hell his name is.
They spray painted the top half of them and just forgot to do the rest.
I liked it. I don't know, man. I thought it was worth a try.
It was different.
I love how they're
different, and I should respect it just because of that. But
they switched back this last year or 2 years ago or whatever, and their reasoning to going to their uniforms that they have this last season was like keeping it simple, back to business. It's like the Jags. You've never done anything. Like don't act like you have this big tradition you got to get back to.
Don't trust what they're saying. They're making a ton of money on all these jersey switches. So their fans are buying all this crap, and they're making a ton of money.
That's true. That's why we got color rush in our lives.
That's right.
So listen, Seth, you are up, and you've been waiting patiently.
We're having the Randers.
I think he's just having some technical issues. That's all right.
Okay. We're bringing back.
We've been trying to stall for him by talking about uniforms for the last 10 minutes.
Yes, so that was.
And I think there's a new Browns uni as well. Heaven knows why.
Have you seen that yet?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
The
it.
Chargers have got a new one coming?
They have, apparently, yeah. But I think they're going sort of more old school, which is fine. If they do that, I'm fine with that.
Is it the powder blue? Is it powder blue?
I think they're going powder blue. Yeah.
Mate, that's a great shade of blue.
It is, actually. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going to.
Well, and the Rams are trying to get a new logo going, right? And that's hideous so far.
Apparently, a penis. If you ask a man named Dickerson is pissed that the logo looks like a penis.
It's
what a
not
time
good.
to be alive.
You're welcome, world.
Okay,
Yeah.
Seth, fire away.
I know this pick. I'm putting money on it right now. I'm hitting up my bookie. I know who he's taking.
Well, I almost want to switch because Kyle knows exactly what I'm getting. I want to switch just to spite him, but I won't because we're here for the people. The guy that I would draft here, I'm looking at the running backs. There's 2 running
Frank
backs
Gore.
left. I thought about it. I truly did. I can't believe he actually fell to this low, but no, I think there's 2 running backs that I'm interested in, maybe 2.5, and there's a lot of wide receivers left. So I'm going to go with a guy that had a lot of touchdown production last year. True, but he was involved in the offense, and that offense was spectacular. I'm doing Mark Ingram.
Yeah, knew that. Knew it.
Selecting that guy. If we're just doing it for one more year, totally fine with it.
Here's the question I got for you: If I took DJ at the second pick, would you have taken Ingram at 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I freaking knew it. Damn, I should have just taken Johnson.
I was considering him over Geis, to be honest.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think he's got that role carved out. I think he's going to be good.
I knew there was no way Ingram was getting back to me because I knew that if nobody else took him, Seth was going to snatch him up there at that pick. So
Did they go and draft
Yes.
somebody again?
scares the hell out of
They
me.
could.
I
And-
think they
Okay.
would.
That's what worries me about
Yeah.
Mark Ingram. They go and grab a younger version of him.
And he lost a step. There's no doubt. He lost a step towards the end of the year. But it may be with an off season, and heaven knows we might not have a mini camp or much of a training camp. You know, he could come out
Not
fresh.
had much of a season.
Yeah, he could come out fresh and be fine. But he definitely did lose a step in the home stretch, I reckon.
Without a doubt, I think he did.
Um,
All right, who's up?
okay, Randy says he's been booted. I'll just add him back in.
There we
Okay,
go.
Kyle is up.
Me.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So that was the last running back worth a damn on the board. I think there's some like
I'll trade
everybody's
you Damian Williams. Can we
No,
trade?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
We got wide receivers coming out everywhere here, so
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I got one already, so I'm just gonna take who I think is the clear-cut best quarterback out there that was left. Luckily enough, because of how we removed guys from this list, this guy remained. I think he's going to be a top-end guy once again. In New Orleans, I'm taking Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Mic
That's
drop.
a good pick. That's
Bam.
a good pick.
Yeah,
It is a good
The,
pick.
the guy was
What-
top 5 in points per game when he was out there. It was just the thumb injury, whatever.
What did he do if Michael Thomas gets hurt? Seeing that 41% of his throws went to Michael Thomas.
They got the Colonel.
That's true. They have Sanders now.
So I'm not worried about that. I think Breeze is somebody that's
Colonel.
Breeze.
Hey, Randy's back.
Breeze plays. He's been a guy that's out there every single week. Thomas is another guy that's out there every single week. I think this is gonna be a high-powered offense. He's coming back because he knows he's got a real shot at this thing, and he was excellent last year when he was on the field. His end of the year numbers don't look good because he missed time, but on a points per game base, he was right there with Russell Wilson. So I think Breeze he's the only guy for me that wasn't eliminated just from the guys that we took out. He is QB 7 for me in 2020.
Very nice. Now, I will put the draft board up again in a second. Memphis, if you could have one of your 2 picks, and then I'll put the draft board up. We'll have a quick recap, and then you can have your second one.
Sounds good.
Cool. There was that moment there I thought, I'm hoping that his mic is working. All right. And
Kind of brutal. No. This is PPR, right?
yes.
Yes.
Give me Tariq Cohen. I
Yep.
think he had a low key 79 receptions last year, third behind Eckler and Christian McCaffrey. And when the garbage man shows up, you take what you can get. So here I am taking Mr. Tariq Cohen.
Very nice.
He was the
Very
half
nice.
running back that I was
Yeah.
debating between.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
So, as you can see, Randy, you're going to have another pick in a second, but Randy so far has got Robert Woods and Tariq Cohen, so wide receiver to running back. Kyle, Brandon Cooks, and Drew Brees. Seth has got DJ and Mark Ingram, so going running back heavy there. AJ, I think this is the best squad so far, as Matt Stafford and Darrell Henderson. I just happen to be reading it out. G has got Damian Williams and Devontae Parker. Curse you, Devontae Parker. And Mike has got Adam Thielen and Darius Geis. Very nice. Very nice. And just if you are tuning into this and you're sort of wondering what on earth is happening, I will just point out that these are flex positions.
We're drunk. I know.
Okay. Now, Memphis, let me just put this back on. I just have to sort out some power here for a second. Let me just go back to this this view. Okay, Randy.
All right.
I'm just going
You're up. Let's go,
to
Randy.
fix something for a second.
I'm double checking. I don't want to pull the guy who drafts Dan Marino at your redraft league. Give me Dan Marino. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm double checking the running back list.
Ooh, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
a little
not
dry.
seeing. Oh, son of a bitch! He's number 23. I was going to say James Conner. I thought James Conner would be a great play this year. If you give me a minute to filibuster, I'll tell you about James Conner. He is going to get a crap ton of work behind Big Ben. Big Ben's coming off of elbow surgery, and they're not going to have him throwing a bunch. They traded for or signed Derek Watt to be the fullback. Good offensive line, and they're not going to want to put a ton of throwing reps on the arm of Big Ben. So look for Connor to be a good back this year, even if he gets hurt. All right, got to pivot, going back to the running back position. Going to go back one more time. This one may shock you guys, but not really if you know me. James White. PPR,
Ooh.
give me James White. He's been a RB2, I believe, 3 years in a row, including an RB1 season in 2018. Too much PPR value to pass up there. So going James White.
Very good.
Yep, that's a solid pick.
No, someone might pick him, so we won't talk about him. Wait and see if someone grabs the other running back in New England. Now
Okay, let me hide that. Yeah.
I mean, we got to wait till G can say it out loud during his thinking. That's awesome.
Just stick it over, man. Just stick it over.
Kyle, you are up.
All right. I'm going to go back. These running backs are just freaking gross, man.
Oh,
and
it's terrible.
It's filthy out there. So I'm just going to go with the best receiver on the board for me. This is a guy that I think can still have another solid year. He's getting up there a little bit, so people are always, trying to get away from, the guys that are old because it's not cool anymore. But I mean, this is a guy that's going to be productive. He's got old Phillip Rivers and his 15 kids there in Indianapolis now. I'm going with T.Y. Hilton to fill up my wide receiver 2 spot.
Yep.
Take that, Seth.
Yeah.
I watched 16 games of
not
Phillip Rivers.
I'm actually very interested in your take on this.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I watched 16 games of Phillip Rivers last year, and
Oh,
it fills me with no confidence whatsoever.
No.
I think Hilton is going to struggle mightily.
Ooh.
The ball floated out there. Mike Williams made Rivers look good at times, and Keenan Allen gets his anyway. I think someone like Paris Campbell could do quite well. I'm a set player that I'm interested in picking.
but if you look at Rivers' games last year, and like me and age, for some reason I did watch a lot of Chargers games. Maybe because I did for the first time ever drafted Phillip Rivers in a 2 QB league, and I drafted him really late. I think he's my third QB, and I did play him at times. And it wasn't so much the fact that his arm is a noodle. But some of his decisions, and people say, well, his offensive line this year is a hell of a lot better. And look, it is a hell of a better upgrade. But his interceptions that he threw weren't because he was rushed. It's because he just made really bad choices.
Floating them out there as well.
Yeah. Like the game against the Raiders was appalling. That really showed what I saw. That summed up his year with the Raiders game.
I'm off Rivers from a fantasy perspective, but I think it is enough of an upgrade for Hilton that I think his value can return low end wide receiver 2 numbers. And obviously here with all those guys being removed, he was the 4th highest receiver left for me of those guys. So for me, I just think Hilton's a guy that's super talented. He can get it done. He's going to be the featured guy in that offense. And I think they're still going to be throwing it. So that's why I went that route in round 3.
Yep. And you can get him relatively cheap, so.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, technically, I would say this is round 3, but it's actually like round 5.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to make a run.
Oh, deeper than that. Oh,
does the Colts fan get a take?
Yes.
It's my turn. Okay, so here's what I got for you. If you use QBR as your measuring stick last year, which QBR factors all aspects of a QB's performance, not just passing. Phillip Rivers was QB 22. Aaron Rodgers was QB 20. So just because he threw a lot of interceptions does not make him a bad quarterback. He was right around the dead even mark. He was 2.5 basis points off of the league average. So he was not exactly terrible, but he wasn't great. And that offensive line, didn't have time to pull that up, but I believe it was in the bottom third of the league. Now he's going to an offensive line that's the top 5 offensive lines in the entire league. Still got T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton's a phenomenal choice if he stays healthy. Now he's fought ankle issues, calf strain last year, but he plays through a lot of that stuff. If he can stay healthy, he will be PPR gold.
Yes. Thank you, Randy. My boy.
The last thing I wanted to do was...
Go Raiders.
Okay.
No, the last thing I want to do is take up for Kyle. Yes, that's on you. But the facts are the facts. I mean, someone's going to say, "Well, Aaron Rodgers was so much better." Well, according to the stat that Vegas uses to rank these guys, he was right there in the mix. Like I said, with Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, just to name a few of the guys that we quote unquote like so much higher. And now we're going to put him behind a better offensive line. Again, he's not going to set the world on fire, but he'll have QB2 games this year.
But is it the fact that we which we find every year and we kick ourselves for it, is that we don't take in the fact that it's another year on? Like it's easy to look back on stats and go, and we use that to use as an excuse. Oh, well, look at his stats last year, but if you look at how people fade, you go, okay, I'm going to another year. He's another year older. We're not going to have, if we don't have OTAs, okay, there is some a semblance with the coaching staff that he has there, but it's all those factors as well. Do we just discount how we looked last year?
Sure, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think you're absolutely right from the standpoint of that. And it was so funny, man, when all the Tom Brady stuff's going on and like people are trying to use stats from over the last 5 years for most things. I mean, and there's some things that you can go back and look a little bit longer, but I think for the most part, when I'm looking at a player, I don't really look further back than just the last 2 years because things just change too quick in this league. You can obviously factor in situation and, and things that might be out of their control that came up to affect that. But yeah, when I'm looking at a player, I don't necessarily care that they have a 12-year track record. I'm want to see what they've been doing recently. And if in those numbers, those 2 or 3 years, is there something there that is a red flag that should be of a concern?
Yeah, like numbers can hide a lot of stuff. If you just watch him, play, he's not the same guy though. He doesn't look like Phillip Rivers from 2 years ago already. Mm-hmm. And that's what concerns me. For some reason, people go, it's a new year. And it's like, what, do we just wash the slate clean of what we saw at the end of last season? Do we just forget all about it? It's a new season. Okay, he's going to be back to what? Why do we always think that he's going to be first half season or of Phillip Rivers and not the second half of Phillip Rivers? It's not just him. There's a lot of players, and then we kick ourselves in the ass for going, shit, we were given a hint of it, but we didn't take it. It was a new year, we gave him a fresh start. I don't get it sometimes. No?
Would you prefer Rivers or Brissett under center if you had T.Y. Hilton or other Colts players?
I think it's Brissett. Hands down for me.
No, I think they've gone part. Brissett is what he is.
Yeah.
Randy, you probably know better. It's Randy's team. But if I was picking, that's a really tough one. It's sort of like, can I have Rivers at the start of the year and then get rid of him somewhere along the way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, Randers?
Yep.
Is he gone? Is he there? Have we lost him?
I've made Randy mad again.
Oh,
It's like
damn.
Austin
no,
Cooper
he's
all over again.
he should still be there.
So what were you going to say, Seth?
Just that's the nice thing about. I was just vamping a little
Well,
bit until we get there. We go.
Would you guys consider? I'm trying to. I'm obviously having technical issues. Consider Keenan Allen a good. I'm trying.
I heard Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Seth's on board.
Yes, I'm in.
All right, who's next up? We'll keep it rolling.
We'll keep it rolling. Okay. Let's see. Seth is up.
Yeah. Hilton. I thought for sure you're going to try and grab a running back before, whatever. But apparently they suck enough for you to just go with a wide receiver. So fine. I'm going to go with.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, he's back.
He's
Yeah,
back.
you got him.
Hello.
Yep,
Hello?
we can hear you.
He can't hear us.
Well.
Oh man.
Okay.
You keep going, Seth. It's all right.
All right. I'm going to go with AJ Green. I know he's old. I know he gets injured, but I would prefer. He's the top of the tier of remaining. Whoop. There we go. He's the top of the tier of the remaining wide receivers, I think. There's a very, very good argument to be made for one other wide receiver. I went back and forth a little bit on which one I would want. I'm not going to say it. The other guy, for the moment, I think everybody knows who it is. But I'll go with A.J. Green here and hope that Joe Burrow or whoever the Bengals get at one will make A.J. great again.
Okay.
Very nice.
AJ.
Very nice. I'm going to. Again, I'm sort of a little. Actually, I'm a little torn. But I'm sort of surprised that both of these guys are still on the board. But I'm going to go and pick Raheem Mostert, who looked pretty good. And, I think he's going to... Look, the draft could change things, but I think that the Niners have got other priorities, and I don't necessarily think that they're going to do anything with that. Well, who knows? I don't think they're going to do anything with that backfield, and Raheem Mostert looked pretty good, and I think he could be set to have a pretty handy season. So I'll go and add him to my roster.
Yeah, that's a good pick. He looked, mate. When every opportunity he was given last year, he looked fantastic.
Did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
He really
He
did.
looked like the best running back in San Francisco.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They gave Kevin Coleman he was brought in to be the guy, and he just and mate, what are they?
And McKinnon. I mean,
And-
Coleman and McKinnon were brought in to be the guys, and Mostert just absolutely beat him.
Yeah.
Mustard would be easier. Yeah, Raheem Mustard.
Yep.
No, that's a good pick. He was near the top of my list as well. So that's not that my list is any good because I've got Damian Williams, but
Well, gee, you're up.
thanks.
You're up.
I'm up.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay. What are we ticking up?
I got to
Geez, we're running out.
record in the names you say so I could save it for my pick.
Somebody get the theme music as we hear.
I would have been better off picking the names I've just talking about instead of the ones I actually picked. But I'm gonna go quarterback because there ain't too much there. I need somebody to throw the ball. So I'm going to go with the guy that was running hot when he took over from the Japanese Mariota.
What?
And I'm going to take Ryan Tannehill. Mate, he's got a ton of weapons to go to. He's got Corey Davis, without doubt, one of the best wideouts in the NFL. An emerging AJ Brown. He's got Jonnu Smith, who's going to, I think, is going to make a real step up this year. We saw what he can do last year. He's such a big athletic guy. They've got the running game. He's got everything around him. His offensive line's good enough. So I'm going to take Ryan Tannehill as my QB here.
Very nice. Very nice.
What are you laughing at, dude?
I'm a
You're
tennis
lucky you live in another country, not down the road. Well,
Mariota.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota. Thanks, Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go quarterback too because there's still a guy on the board here that I'd like to make a big comeback year. I'm going to go Ben Roethlisberger.
Dang.
At 3.6 here. He's always throughout his career been a consistent passer and put up numbers that a lot of times just kind of jump off the page at you. You know, he's had 6 touchdown games. I think he can do a lot with what he's got. So in this, what we have left at quarterback here is not looking good. So I think this is my time to jump in and take Big Ben.
Does the surgery concern you at all? What?
No, because what I think about Big Ben, he has always been a drama queen for as long as he's been in the league. So whatever surgery, no matter how bad they say this surgery was, it's probably 18 times less bad as he puts it out there that it was. So no, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to play it up as he had a heroic comeback. But no, I think he's very dramatic, and I think he's going to be just fine. And
isn't it weird that he's exactly as you said? He's a bit of a drama queen.
Absolutely.
And for a guy that big, and a guy that doesn't mind putting himself in a situation where he's going to get hit as a quarterback. It's sort of but then he's a drama queen about the whole about things. He's got a really weird dynamic happening.
He just wants everyone to recognize that he puts himself out there that way.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish we had the Roethlisberger watch drop from the Warzone days. Roethlisberger watch. Whatever year that was.
I'd be more worried about
2019.
Because he kept threatening to retire. That was why.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd be more worried about the fact that he was looking like Hodor from Game of Thrones by the end of the season on the sidelines. That's what I'm more worried about him coming back from, not the elbow injury.
Hey, he was a hero.
Hey, Hodor was a hero.
Yeah.
That's right.
He held the door.
Has to do with it, but
he held the door. Sorry, spoilers.
AJ's meant to be keeping this thing going, but he's not doing a very good job.
We're killing it on time. We're flying.
We are.
Grab T.Y. Hilton again so we can talk about that.
We're just under an hour and we've actually made it through half of the draft.
We're doing well.
Yeah.
We are flying.
Okay, Mike, hit us with your
All right. Well,
second one round the turn.
I'm not completely thrilled with the way running back looks, so I think I'm going to punt on that for a while. Tight end is not jumping off the screen at me either. So, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and take my second wide receiver. And I think I'm going to go Terry McLaurin because
I don't pissed at you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be. I think he's far and away the best target in Washington. Obviously, we're not thrilled with Haskins, and we don't. The quarterback situation may be a little sketchy there. But McLaurin has proved he can be good despite Haskins. So if he's going to get the target share in offense defense that is probably going to be behind a lot. Like, I want that. So I'm going to go ahead and take Terry McLaurin here.
Scary Terry.
How bad do you want Washington to draft a QB at 2?
Not.
Just,
Not at all.
I would, no, as a Lions fan, I would
Yes.
love that because that means they traded up and we would get Chase Young. So
that'd
bring
be
it.
perfect for you guys, man.
No,
Absolutely. I
Mike,
keep waiting for that.
the Chargers are trading up with the Lions. I don't know if you heard.
Ooh.
Well, and that could happen too. And actually, if number 2 is Chase Young, like I would love it if somebody traded up with the Lions and gave them a huge king's ransom to move up. That'd be fine too.
The Chargers are getting Tua. That's my hot take.
All right,
And that makes sense. But as long as the Lions have such a history of just letting people off the hook in situations like this, like I really hope they take advantage of the leverage they know they have. And I think they're aware of that because they keep threatening to draft Tua. There's no way they're drafting Tua. Like Stafford is fine. He's still fairly young. Like it's such an idle threat. It's ridiculous. But they're really trying to up the value of that pick. So as soon as Young goes off the board at 2, which I believe Chase Young is going to go off the board at 2, they're really trying to sell this pick. And if they can pull this off, I would love it. I would love it because they have so many more positions of need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if they got Chase Young, that's great, but there's still so many holes to fill that I almost think they would be better served selling this pick for a king's ransom and just absolutely filling all the spots they need help with, especially on the defense, which was so horrendous last year.
Hey, it's
But Mike,
fine.
they have to go
You
and
can-
get a tight end in the top 5.
That's their MO for sure. Hopefully,
As,
the
so,
things
as
are
someone
getting
that
stocked.
as someone that just paid up big for Hawkinson in a dynasty, that better not happen.
Don't be surprised.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, the tight ends in this class are not really, they don't compare. But
No.
okay, nice pick, Mike. He was
Yeah.
he was
Solid pick, man.
He was sticking out on my board. I tell you, if it got back to me, I would have taken him. So, G, who you
Who did
got?
Mike take?
McLaurin.
McLaurin.
Okay, I just nodded off. Sorry, you're talking about Washington. Just nodded off.
When I start talking, people do that.
The Washington front office does the same thing. You start talking about their own team, they're like, oh, damn.
All right, so I'm up. Wide receiver. I'm going to go wide receiver. Do you want me to put a few names out there, AJ?
No.
There's a few guys. There's guys on here that. Ooh, I like Slayton.
Are
like
you
Marvin
taking
Jones.
Slayton?
I like Marvin Jones.
Can you just take a player and not mention all the others?
Jamison Crowder in New York. There's nobody there. Woo! No, I'm going to go with
Pittman's
it.
over here.
I'm going to go with the guy that is going to give you about 80, 90 receptions in the last couple of years. He's
Okay.
given you over 1,000 yards. Only 5 touchdowns. I hope him with AJ Green back this year. That really helps him out. I think it will. And I'm a bit of a fan. AJ knows I'm a fan of him. So I'm going to go and grab Tyler Boyd. I think he's a very underrated wide receiver.
Lovely.
I was going back and forth between McLaren and Boyd.
Yeah, and mate, the dude has got so much going for him. And you look at this wide receiver class coming out this year, and everybody says it's how good it is. I don't think it's an outstanding class. I think it's very what's the curve we're looking for? Flatten the curve sort of type. There's a lot of guys very similar. It's not there's no peaks. And Tyler Boyd is far better than a lot of these guys coming out, most of them, to be honest. So I'm going to grab Tyler Boyd. I think with AJ Green back, that just takes a little pressure off him. He showed being the number 1 wide receiver last year in Cincinnati, he can get the job done. And everybody thought he may fold, but he was exactly the opposite. And I think it's just he's coming into his fifth year, 6th year now. He's just reaching he's only 25 years old. I think coming into his 5th year.
He's just biding his time till Green retires, and he's going to be a monster.
Yeah, and he showed everybody. Like I said, everybody thought he wouldn't be able to handle it last year without AJ. Man, he did a fantastic job. Just I would like to see if we can get it like maybe 3 more touchdowns out of him, get it out to like 8 or 9. That'd be awesome. 1,000+ yards, 90 receptions, money in the bank.
I like it.
Alrighty. Okay, I'm up, and I'm going to crack the seal on the tight end position.
Oh, baby.
Because I think even if looking at the board, so after I pick 1, 2, 3,
Popping
4,
the
5, 6,
cherry.
there'll be 6 picks before I'm on the board again. Even if 6 wide receivers go off, I'd be happy with the 7th wide receiver I've still got on my board. But tight end is, it's already thin.
I was going to take a
gets
tight end.
pretty thin. So I'm going to go with Jonnu Smith. I really like the situation and the talent. Obviously, I'm a massive Tanners fan, and I think that offense is just a juggernaut. So very happy to pick Jonnu Smith here.
You're a what fan?
Tanners.
Ryan
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Got it. Yes, obviously.
Mate, we're Australian. We cut everything.
The hell was I
shorten
thinking?
Yeah. Mate, you look at that. You look at that run that he had. What was like about? Was it 41 yard run or whatever it was he had down the sideline, the right sideline last year, mate. They struggled catching him. Like he's a big guy, man. He can move. He's very athletic.
Yeah. And I mean, he's coming
Great
into an
for the
offense where the tight end gets used, quite a lot anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. He was a Michigan tight end, so I'm very familiar with him, and he's absolutely. We're seeing now what he showed in college. So it was only a matter of getting opportunity, and now that he's got it, this is what he is. Believe me when I tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Just that someone in a podcast, a few years back, actually had him near the top of his list, but no one was listening. Just so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, who's up?
So we have Seth.
All right. Oh, we got Randy sideways.
Yeah.
Randy's on his phone, I think. So, he's gone again. All right. Anyway, keep going. Technical issues.
He's trying.
He is trying. So I am going to go tight end as well.
Uh-oh.
So I'm
There's
going
a
to
run.
go super risky with this pick, but if it hits, it can hit very, very big, and I'm going to go with O.J. Howard.
Oof.
Oh, I love that pick, actually.
You got Brady down there in Tampa Bay. We were talking about how Chris Godwin and Mike Evans had monster years last year, but Brady is not a guy that really throws the ball down the field that much. I think there's an opportunity for Howard to be used again in some capacity. This is a super big risk. I get it. But tight end sucks already anyway, so why not go for a home run?
Who's OJ Howard? Sorry, I was doing a Bruce Arians impression.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well,
That's fair.
So this is a guy that I have in like 3 dynasty leagues, and this is the first time in a while I've been legitimately excited about him because
Right.
Tom Brady is somebody who at one point with Hernandez and Gronk supported 2 tight ends. Like this is just part of his game, is quick release throwing. And obviously Edelman, when Hernandez had his thing, obviously Edelman sort of played that role as a second tight end, doing all those short crossing routes across the middle. Brady is comfortable throwing those routes. I think Howard has a lot better opportunity now than he does with Winston, who was, obviously because of his touchdown to interception rating, you can see like he loved to just throw balls up and let guys go and get them. He was not like OJ Howard was not his target. Tom Brady is going to be watching for OJ Howard, especially if he can gain Brady's trust in training camp and stuff like that.
I sort of see what people are saying about the tight end position of Brady, but who did Brady have at tight end?
Gronk.
Thank you. Done. Finished.
Best.
Conversation over. Does it have anything to do with the fact that it's the tight end? Mate, I think it's got a hell of a lot more to do with the fact that the guy who was playing at tight end in New England. But
he made Hernandez a star as well.
Yeah, but
and that was a 2 tight end set.
Yeah, but Hernandez is better than OJ Howard. Even Hernandez was.
Damn.
He had
Man.
two very good
Man,
tight
You
ends.
heard it here. Endorsement.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
All right.
I think
that's all
Howard
right,
has a lot of talent. I just don't think he's ever been in an offense that would support him.
Is
I mean,
there a reason
You're
he
right,
wasn't? Is there a reason he wasn't used in college that much, and is there a reason he's not used in the pros that much?
There's definitely a reason he wasn't used in the pros that much, and I think it's just Jameis Winston who loves to chuck the ball anywhere a receiver is anywhere near him, which is why he puts up, crazy touchdown and interception numbers. But I think obviously Bruce Arians does not use tight ends a lot, but I think Brady is going to look for that. I think this is a unique situation that O.J. Howard hasn't been in. I think Brady's going to look for him, especially if he can gain some trust, catching balls. I really think this is kind of a different era for O.J. Howard. I think he's going to be able to prove what a lot of us thought that he was going to be able to do coming out of college, and I really think this is a second shot for him.
And Raven Matt makes a very good point.
This
Gronk
one?
is definitely.
No, yes, that one. That one's better.
That one's good too. Gronk
Hands of poop.
is the best.
Hands
one
of
the best
poop.
tight
I
ends
don't
ever
think
played.
O.J. Howard has hands of poop, but maybe I'm wrong.
But that the point I'm making is he's had the greatest tight end in NFL history, basically, as his tight end, which helps throwing the ball to that position, doesn't it?
Undoubtedly.
For sure.
And now he's not gonna. He's got O.J. Howard, who let's face it, we have no idea what O.J. Howard is. No, mate, Chris Godwin's gonna eat up.
He gonna
so
eat.
much.
He gonna
I
eat.
agree. I just think that I'm confident in saying that.
I love this with Seth's pick and Jernigan's here having to take the heat.
No.
I appreciate it.
Mate, I'm not giving him it, mate. Just playing devil's advocate a bit. It's.
I feel confident in saying that O.J. Howard is better than Matt Lacoste.
For sure. And Jameis
establish a
Winston has
baseline.
never
What about-
decided to look for
What
tight
about
ends.
What about Cameron Braid?
Yeah, that is
Ooh.
the one. That is
Naperville,
the one
Illinois,
thing-
baby.
Yes, that's right, hometown. That is the one thing I am. Solomon, nice.
Yeah.
That I'm
Is OJ Howard an athlete before he's a footballer?
Yes.
Yes, I will. I can say that. Yeah, that's probably true.
I think so.
See, to me, Gronk's a footballer before he's an athlete.
That's saying something because Gronk's a heck of an athlete.
Oh, he's a mate,
I think-
but he's a footballer first.
If you're sitting there though in a dynasty league and you have OJ Howard on your team, I don't know if you could ask. You could have asked for a better scenario as far as at least for a glimmer of hope that this guy on your roster is just not going to die there. He wasn't going to get traded. He obviously wasn't in a position to move teams as
Randy's
far as
giving you a
via
funny
free
face,
agency.
man.
So
Yep.
He's giving you the bit of the.
I'm more on G's side that I don't think this is going to be just automatic gold, but. I mean, damn! It's been a rough few
and I'm
years.
not saying he's going to be automatic gold. I just think this was a lot better opportunity than he was in before.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you.
Yep. Super risky pick. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, damn you, Seth.
Brandon, can't he do?
No audio
that's
yet.
not-
Okay, well we've got a little bit of time because Kyle, you are up.
All right. So
Get Randy sorted out, AJ. You're the producer.
Just hit
You're the
hit
producer.
the flip button. 90 degrees.
I love-
rotate 90 degrees.
I can't do that.
Handball it off. Kyle, you're up.
All right, here I go.
Yeah.
So because of the way this works, is that we're just doing six rounds, and the fact that there is no flex position, and Randers behind me just took two running backs. I know I don't need to take a running back here because I can get the one guy that I think is even worth drafting on this list. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a tight end as well. Because I felt like I feel like I can wait on that second running back spot. I'll get my first running back on the way back around. So I'm going to go with a guy. He had 5 touchdowns his last 6 games. I like the way that offense is moving with Fitzmagic. I'm going to go with Mike Gesicki. It takes a while, but man, these tight ends can finally make it happen when they get a chance here. So it took a while, but Mike Gesicki, man, I really like what he can do with Fitzmagic, and it can't get much worse either if they get a rookie quarterback in there. I'm good with that too.
Randy, I'm going to put this up for you. Sorry, I'm just I had to turn it off for a second because I need to hide my
That's a good pick.
board.
That's a good pick, Carl.
Thank you.
Then let me
Mate,
just put it back up.
He seemed to like the light switch went on, didn't it?
Yeah, I really like what we saw.
Really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he wasn't doing anything that first half of the season, and then it really came on at the end. And maybe you could argue with Preston Williams out, and it was just being Parker and Gesicki mainly in offense. I get it, but we'll see. We'll see what they do if they add any other weapons around them. But I think just with those three guys, I think a rookie be coming into a nice position here with some decent weapons.
Yeah, like it at all.
Okay,
that's scary, man. We've had that's three tight ends in the last 3 picks, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
The run.
Damn. And I was going to take a tight end. I thought, mate, I'll get one for sure. Now
I was taking one because I knew that maybe Memphis could take because he took his 2 running backs. So but then when you guys started taking, like, crap.
Okay, Randy, we got you.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Nice.
Fuck.
Man, A for effort, bro.
Absolutely.
I said I would be here. I'm going to be here. Can I see the board again?
It's up.
Yeah. Mate, you have been treading water in that. Oh, mate, until someone got that life preserver to you, you've done a great job.
I would have bailed ass so quick on this if I had that many issues.
I'm looking. I'm going to take a guy that in Dynasty is a top 12 QB in a startup, and that's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
With the New York Football Giants. He is a guy that has got extremely good weapons. I know Kyle especially hates the clapper, but Jason Garrett has had top half of the league offenses and like half of the years he's been an offensive play caller in the league. Add into that, he's got Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, and my next pick is going to be Darius Slayton.
Love Darius.
Nice. Yeah, I love that pick.
Yeah.
Guy had 8 TDs last year. Now, I will say for 2020 and beyond, he's got to avoid a day 2 wide receiver to avoid pushing him for duties. But I don't think Sterling Shepard is very good, at least not at this point. Evan Ingram can't stay healthy, and he and Daniel Jones showed a rapport last year. So I do think he's got to avoid a pick at like 36 overall. But if he avoids that, man, I think he'll be golden. And if you look at his physical makeup versus that of Michael Gallup, he's actually a slightly better overall athlete. So you add all that together, I'll take the 1-2 punch of Jones and Slayton.
Stack attack.
Mate, and all he's lacking is a catch is like a Odell Beckham catch, man. They're going to love him in New York. Seriously, mate, the dude's got it all. He can run routes. He's got deep speed. I think when I looked at him coming out of college, the one thing that scared me a little bit was his contested catching, but I think he's one of these guys that when you take it to the next level, his whole game has stepped up, and some of the contested catches he made last year were fantastic. So that's a great pick. That's a really good
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, you are up. Let me just go back to...
All right. So I have no running backs because all these running backs are hot garbage. Everybody, I mean, you could look at every single one of these guys that was left on this board for us. I mean, we didn't have much to pick from here. I think you're talking about some guys that will have roles regardless of what their team does in the draft. But a lot of
these guys... We're keeping this team, man. We're keeping these teams. We're going to keep these. We're going to score these during the year.
Let's see it. Somebody do that. I'm going to go with a guy that I think that outside of the Damian Williams pick, I think that he's kind of in a tier of his own as far as extreme upside. But I think a guy that's in one of the best positions, I think as far as when you just look at the upside of where he's at in the situation, I think it's comparable to the guys that went in the first 2 rounds of this. The talent has been questionable, but so far they haven't added anybody even when they had the chance to. So I'm going to go with Ronald Jones in Tampa Bay and see if they continue to just completely freaking ignore that position, and he's the only guy there.
Chances of him ignoring it?
10%.
Yeah, slim. Slim.
10.
That's,
I think they got to take.
But I mean, if he's the only guy there, I think that there's, and that's where he's at right now. So I'll go with it.
I think his second half last year was good.
I think I think he's barking up the wrong tree with Ronald Jones.
Ooh.
He can't pass block worth a damn. And if you got a 43-year-old statue in the backfield as a quarterback, it ain't going to take very long for him to get blown up. And I will say this about 2020 and beyond. Give me just 1 second. Is the reason why he struggled the first 2 years with 2 different coaches is he's known to be lazy. And right now he can't get to the team facility. He can't show that he's working out. There's too many red flags for me. I'm not trying to poo-poo your pick, but I just
they can bring in a rookie that can pass protect, then more power to him. I want him to do that. Please.
Randy's not trying to do that to you, man. But he just put your pick straight in the shitter, pretty much.
We're in the 5th round of this garbage ass list. I mean, what do you want from me?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. All right, who's up? AJ, come on, dude. You're running this.
Oh, who's up? Seth is up.
Seth.
Yep. So I'm going to go with the wide receiver that I was debating going instead of AJ Green last round. So this is nice. I'm going to go Mike Williams, and it's again kind of a boom bust type of play. That's what he was last year, for sure. But we don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
It's a win. Either way, it's
at
a win.
The moment. Yeah. Sure.
It's a win. Yeah, I think it's a win. If it's Tyrod, if it's a win. If it's Tua, if it's a win. If it's Herbert, if it's a win. Because I just think that Rivers, wasn't really the right kind of fit anymore, for Mike Williams. Sure. Any of those guys, basically.
Yeah, I think Keenan Allen will definitely get his, but we've seen the offense be able to support 2 wide receivers before, and I think they can do it again.
Yep.
We lost Mike, but let's see.
Well, Mike's gone.
What happened? What happens?
He said his computer froze. I'll hit him up.
Okay, that's all right. No worries. I'm up. Okay, I'm going to go with a PPR machine. He doesn't get the love, but let me go and slot into my lineup Jarvis Landry.
And Landry's still out there?
Yeah,
he's come off the hip.
Yeah. Any concern about the hip injury?
Yeah, that's why I haven't picked him. That concerns me.
No, not so much. Certainly not at this stage of the draft anyway.
What about his quarterback? That concern you?
Nah, he's going to... Baker's going to have a bounce back. You watch. Bounce back, baby.
Austin Hooper coming to town doesn't concern you? No, I mean, certainly Austin Hooper... Nothing seems to concern you at all.
Nothing concerns me at all. No, look, Austin Hooper will have an effect on Jarvis Landry. There's no doubt, right?
I think he's going to have a decent effect on Jarvis Landry.
But Hooper's also a bit of a touchdown guy. So, I don't know. I think Landry's still going to get his.
94 catches last year. He only dropped 2 balls.
Yep.
So
yeah.
He's going to get a fair bit of use. He's not coming into the Browns facility to be, to just be a bit of a what if player.
Hooper?
I don't think. You don't pay him, make him the highest paid tight end in the league, mate, to throw in 50 passes.
It's the Browns.
60 passes. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, but money talks as well. I think, that was a factor.
Okay, that's all right. Everybody's been having a go at everybody else's pick. I just figured it's that time someone had to go at yours. But, all right, who's up?
You are.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I need, AJ? What am I after?
Let's see. Okay, hang on. I'll put the board up for you because we've got some time.
I've got
anyway.
2. I need a tight end. I was going to go tight end. So, okay, my tight end. I'm going to take a guy who's rocked up at a new. He's rocked up at a new facility. He's caught like 41 passes in 2 years at the Ravens, but he's taken over a spot where the gentleman that left that we were just talking about in Hooper had 94 targets last year. So he walks into a situation that the tight end gets used, 94 targets available. I think he's going to get used a fair bit. He's a more athletic. He's a faster tight end. Hooper's good. He's great, as I just said, with the catches. Always makes the first guy miss, but he's not the quickest of tight ends. And I think they've just added a bit more speed in Hayden Hurst. And I know it's an unknown commodity, but there's not much else behind him. There's another guy that I really like, but I don't think he's going to get the targets just yet with Mason Rudolph being there and that Irv Smith. So I'm going to take a bit of a flyer and take Hayden Hurst. And just hope there's 94 targets available. 80 targets to be fine.
I don't hate it. I mean, Matt Ryan is a check down machine, and that's the reason Hooper was so productive last season. Is that there were no plays really designed for Hooper. It was just that, oh well, I'm not going to risk throwing an interception, and Hooper is available over the middle because nobody cares about the slow tight end across the middle. And
mate, that's it. You're exactly right, Seth. He doesn't. He's not the greatest deep ball thrower, but he's a conservative deep ball thrower. So that's the middle of the field is the intermediates is where Matt Ryan lives.
I thought that the freaking Ravens. I mean, how the hell did they pull all that off these last few weeks? I mean, when you even go back to they got Marcus Peters for a bag of salted peanuts. Then they get Calais Campbell for almost nothing. They flip Hayden Hurst for a second after they wasted a first round pick on him. I mean, I get that Atlanta. I believe that was the pick Atlanta received in the Sanu trade. So I mean, they were playing with house money there as it is. But I mean, damn, that Baltimore front office is just been killing it.
Yep. On one end of the spectrum, you got the Ravens front office. On the other end of the spectrum, you got the Texans front office.
There is no front.
There's none. Yes, exactly.
Bill O'Brien rolling around on all his money, doing God knows what.
I mean, yeah, you're right. They absolutely have rocked free agency. The Ravens, man, they have done so well.
All right.
Next up, dude. Come on.
Jernigan's, we've been stalling for him. Jernigan's
Oh, he's not there.
He's hopping back in here.
He's hopping back in a second. So I just sent him the link, and I'll give a quick recap of the board while we're waiting. So Memphis, you have your quarterbacks Daniel Jones. You've got your two running backs in James White and Tariq Cohen, and you've got your wide receivers in Slayton and Woods. So just looking for a tight end in this last round. Kyle has got his quarterback in Drew Brees. He's got, one running back in Ronald Jones, and he's got his tight end in Mike Gesicki and T.Y. and Cooks as his wide receivers.
That's RB1 Ronald Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's RB1 on his own team.
No, you got it backwards. You got it backwards, Kyle. That's one RB you don't want.
Seth Seth doesn't have his quarterback yet, but he does have DJ and Mark Ingram. Man, that's a nice little running back duo there. AJ Green, Mike Williams, and OJ Howard at tight end. I've got Matt Stafford at running back. I've got Henderson and Mustard, and I've got Jarvis Landry, wide receiver, and Jonnu Smith at tight end. G has got Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. He's got Damian Williams at running back so far. Devontae Parker, Tyler Boyd at wide receiver, and Hayden Hurst at tight end. And Mike, who is just joining us now, welcome back, Mike, has got Big Ben at his quarterback. He's got Darius Geis as his lone running back so far, and Adam Thielen and Terry McLaurin. That's very nice. So, Mike, who are you going to add to your slate?
So I just had technical difficulties, and I had a list of all the people that we were allowed to draft. And
I messaged you some pictures too, some pictures of the draft list, if that helps.
Okay, so
not those other pictures.
No, not those.
You can look at it later.
Right. Those are. I was disgusted by those, frankly.
Damn it.
So
I knew it.
All right, I'm totally trying to transition because the list of people that were allowed to draft
Yes.
is a little sketchy in this draft. I'm going to go. I need a tight end here, so I'm going to go Ian Thomas.
Yep.
Nice. All right.
That's nice.
Solid.
I think completely freestyling on a list that does not exist for me anymore. I think that's the best tight end I can come up with
That's
off
good.
the top of my head.
Yep.
I think he's got a lot of opportunity this year, obviously, with Olsen gone. And that is a screaming position of need from my team. So that's where I'm going.
Okay, Mike, so you are now missing a running back for your last pick and the first pick of the 6th round.
All right. So, again, I have no
I
list.
took Ronald Jones, so.
I have no list of existing running backs that are left in this because that all froze when my computer had a hiccup.
Oh, we can give you a hint. If it's a running back that's good, they're not on the list. They're not available.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. You know what? I'm looking at the list here.
So, are you more of an Xbox fan or a PlayStation fan?
PC.
Well, all right.
Thanks,
So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go Sony Michelle. Because,
Nice.
yeah, there is.
Oh, damn it. Good joke, Seth. You suck.
What do you think? What do you think I was trying to do?
I
I'm
have
trying to
no
set him
idea.
up.
I have no idea.
And to be honest, I didn't know what you were trying to do either. But Sony Michelle, for me, is somebody I was high on out of college. And obviously, he has not really shown what I think he can do in the pros. But with Tom Brady gone, and we're not really sure what he's going to do as far as what the Patriots are going to do as far as quarterback goes, I think Sony Michelle is in line for possibly a huge year. Obviously, White is going to be the passing downs guy. But I think if I'm looking for a second running back, I think this is about as safe as you can get, I guess. So, he's guaranteed a workload to some degree. So,
Yeah.
I guess I'm happy with this pick. I'm just free balling here.
Can you show us?
Thank you, Seth.
That's the other pictures that.
That was a bit too much information.
Right, free balling.
Now, hang on, Mike and everybody. Casey, I'm fairly sure, Casey, your question is sort of scrolled off my screen, but I'm fairly sure you were asking before about Sony Michel's value in Dynasty. So what you could sell him for or what he's worth.
I just sold a Sony share in a league.
Ah, let's hear it.
I was offered Sony Michel. I gave up Sony Michel, I should say. I was offered the 206 and a tight end premium Superflex, a 206 and a 2021 third. I hit slam accept so fast, that's how my computer broke. I couldn't have pulled that trigger any faster. Probably too fast, it would appear. But I think Sony is hot, moist garbage. The Pats have got 13 picks this year. They got Damian Harris, who they barely used last year. And I don't know that Sony's got a whole lot of workload guaranteed coming his way. So I don't dislike Sony. I actually liked him quite a bit coming in. But I think Sony might have more dynasty or fantasy value on his next team, not this team.
Well, screw you, Randy.
Hey,
Can't
man.
be worse than my Ronald Jones pick.
No, I would rather have Sony than Ronald Jones. Right
There
there.
you go.
There you go. I like you again, Randy.
We found the lowest bar possible.
I'm gonna hit both of you with a metal detector at this rate.
Good.
G, you are up.
Throwback to the war zone, baby.
You're up, G.
All right. I need a running back.
You need a running back.
Mate, and there is seriously nothing left. So I'll make it quick. I'm going to go and grab. Unfortunately, Melvin Gordon's now gone to the Broncos, but they'll soon realise that 3.1 yards a carry is probably not that great. And I look, Philip Lindsay's still going to have value in the passing game. This being PPR, that's more his thing. So just based on what's left, which is nothing, a guy that catches passes out of the backfield, worth his weight in gold in this steaming feces piled running back. Yep, chuck me down for Philip Lindsay, mate.
Nice.
I think Royce Freeman's the odd man out.
He sure is
in Denver. I think his first year he led the league in yards after contact, but if you get one step when you fall forward, they probably mark that down as yards after contact. And we saw at Oregon that, mate, the holes that he was running through were massive. Now, the offensive line killed everybody they played against and made him look really good. And I think you've found that out now in the pros that if he doesn't have a hole, he's in some serious trouble. So, yeah, he's the odd man out. So give me Philip Lindsay, please.
Yeah, I like it. I think, kind of a curious decision, them signing Melvin Gordon, but I think, as you said, Royce Freeman's the big loser. I kind of like if it's a 50-50 split, it could well be. I think Lindsay could well produce. So we'll see. I'm next up, and I've already locked in my pick, Preston Williams. Thank you very much. I will add him to Jarvis Landry.
Who?
Preston Williams.
I never heard of him.
Oh. Neither have I. Hey, can I just say, I listened to, who is it, on the NFL Network, Bucky Brooks and who's the other guy?
Jeremiah?
Yeah, they had their top 20 rookies.
Oh, yeah.
And, mate, okay, Preston Smith's numbers weren't up there with some of the receivers they had on there. I mean, Preston Williams, sorry.
Linebacker.
But if you look at what he did under the circumstances in which he was playing, mate, he was fantastic. He didn't even make the top 20, which surprised me. They had Deontay Johnson in Pittsburgh made the list ahead of him, which I just found a little bit like I don't understand. Okay, his numbers were better.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
I would take Preston Williams over Devontae Parker right now.
Oof.
No.
I don't know.
I think that he was
Brady, come on,
Get him!
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going to have no chance to work with a quarterback because he's coming off of an ACL, and we're talking about 1 year. I mean, you're really undermining the value of off-season reps with a quarterback.
This guy is walking around his house laying an ass whooping right now.
Sorry.
you're going to start working out soon, you watch.
There it is.
Yes.
Have you just been waiting for that the whole time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for missing.
But you have no idea, buddy. I'm on the struggle bus over here in Indianapolis.
Oh, man.
Love it, man.
No, I think Preston Williams has got talent, but if I'm doing this for a 1 year roster, yeah, I'm working. Sorry, trying to get my internet to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that you could have went a little bit healthier. That's my only knock is that guys coming back off of an ACL typically struggle.
Yeah, that's a legit knock. I think I'm
unless you're Cooper Kupp.
Damn right.
Boom.
Wide receiver 4.
I think as Memphis is pulling through his trash or whatever. I was more looking at it from the beginning of the season. Preston Williams was outperforming Devontae Parker in that offense, and Parker took off as soon as Williams was gone. So I think there's something to be said for that. And I think it's easy to say, oh, Parker finally broke out after 16 years or whatever it took to get him going. But no, that's valid. The injury concern is certainly valid.
Okay.
Okay,
Quite
Seth,
knock
Seth,
on
you
my
are,
pick there. Just
you are up and you are in need of a quarterback, my friend. So
I am. They
bad
all
luck.
are. They're all super middling quarterbacks. So I'm going to do a stack attack as well and go with Tom Brady. He's going into an offense that actually has wide receivers for once, which is nice.
damn, that's a good pick.
Maybe.
Where is he?
He's way down there. Way down. 24. He's at 24.
Ah, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, no, good to. Oh, yeah, you can have him, can't you? That's right. It's top 12. Fuck.
You got the Tanner. Don't worry.
Oh, look at the weapons. No, that's a great point. So, mate, look at the weapons he's got to play with. Like, seriously,
Yeah,
when was the last
like
time
that
he had? When did he last have guys like this? You know.
Well, you guys mentioned it earlier when he had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk.
Yeah.
And I think he had Wes Welker at that time and maybe Moss. I don't remember the exact configuration. I think that's the offense they actually run. I think they run some of that Patriot 2 tight end set. And I know Arians doesn't run with the tight end, but don't think Tommy won't have input on that offense.
You see on Twitter that they're already trademarking things like Tampa Bay and
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
But do you know why? Do you know why?
Brady Years or whatever.
He's not going to be. He's already said he's not trying to sell this stuff. He is trying to prevent other people from selling this stuff. He doesn't want people using his name and likeness attached to items that he does not own. He's not trying to make a buck. He's trying to keep people from selling stupid ass shirts.
I was gonna say street T-shirt vendors everywhere would be pissed.
I'll just be honest with you. A guy who reps Uggs and NetJets probably does not rock a Tampa Bay shirt. Throwing it out there, could be way off base, but I'm probably not wrong.
I want to see Tom Brady's people going around outside of whatever ship the Bucks play in, and pulling these T-shirts down off of the giant sticks these guys be waving around trying to sell us crap.
Well, if they named it after this podcast, it could be the Friendship.
Mate, it ain't no way, mate. I'm getting on any type of ship at the moment, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys are probably
is
sad,
true.
but I figured out my IT issues.
Oh, good. It's just in time.
Just in
Just in
time.
time. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Been great having you on board. And,
Kyle, you
hope to
are
catch up soon.
Kyle, you're up.
Kyle.
You need a running back.
Yep. All right, and it's going to be tough to find anyone better than Ronald Jones, but I'll try. There's nobody. This will be the last running back drafted in this stupid draft, and it's the running backs are so horrible. All these guys are going to get trumped right as soon as in 2 weeks when this NFL draft happens. But I'll go with the only guy that has a secure job, in my opinion, right now. He's a low end flex in a PPR. He's the RB1 in Houston. I'll go with Duke Johnson.
Say what now?
RB1 in Houston. Duke Johnson.
Yeah. I believe your information is outdated.
Your boy got beat out by Kenyon Drake, homie.
After being injured.
No.
I mean, Seth could counter and say that he was so good that he got traded for DeAndre Hopkins.
That's fair.
Bob logic.
That's a lot better comeback. So I'm just going to let Randers do the comebacks.
He was so good that Bill O'Brien gave up DeAndre Hopkins for him. Write that down.
Great. Hashtag narrative.
Okay, Randy, bring it home. You need.
Now hold on. Now Randers can't get an RB here because he's already filled out his RB spot.
No, I got to get a tight end.
Yeah, you got to get tight ends. But can we just went to Duke Johnson. Now, Naheem Hines.
Yes, I was going to say, I was surprised you didn't take Naheem Hines, to be honest.
Now, how you seeing his role this year, Randers?
I like him. I heard this stat the other day on, I don't remember the podcast, maybe it was the Bucky Brooks one, but over the last 3 years, the percentage of Phillip Rivers targets to the running back position has went from like 23% to 25%, and last year it was at 29.9%.
Yeah.
Now, part of that's going to be a function of a shit offensive line, and you just check down before you get obliterated. But part of that is that, to your guys' point, he's not a great, thrower of the football anymore. So you line Hines up in space, and he was a punt returner, so those guys tend to do well in a crowd. I think he'll be fine. I think I would rather have him in a best ball. I couldn't draft him, but the Colt that I absolutely love this year is Marlon Mack. I think he can be everything that Melvin Gordon was a couple of years ago with Phillip Rivers, and I don't say his prime, but when he was a better performing quarterback. So I do like Hines. They signed Roosevelt Nix, former fullback for the Steelers today. So that tells you they're going to want to play some power football. So Hines is cool, but I think Mack could end up being a low-key RB1. I mean, the guy rushed for like 1,040 yards and only played like 12 games. So just some stuff to throw out there locally here in Indy.
What do you think, Randy, the likelihood of them drafting someone is?
If they do, I don't know. Currently, they have 5 quarterbacks under contract. Now they signed Nix, who's a fullback, but he's still going to be in the RB room. They've got Wilkins, they've got Hines, they've got Mack, they got Jonathan Williams, who played well last year at times, and now they've got Nix. I think the Colts have got bigger issues on defense, and if they add anything offensively, I think I've seen them mocked a tight end, and I've seen them mocked a wide receiver. I think this and this is not just for the Colts, I think this is for the running back position in general. A lot of this 2017 class, and not just the big names like Fournette and Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook and Mixon, but that next tier of guys, Tariq Cohen, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Marlon Mack, those guys have played so well, and they'll all be free agents next year. So I think a lot of teams are going to say, hey, why would we draft a rookie and invest draft capital there when we can get one more year out of this, guy we know who can perform, and we'll deal with the position next year. So I think all the Colts running backs are fine, but you never know.
But not to drag this out too long, but don't you that's kind of my point, was that this is such a deep running back draft class. Don't you think they might want to kind of cut ties with some of these guys who are going to be due a big paycheck next year and take a flyer on what is, widely believed to be a running back class that they can fill in a lot of these gaps?
Well, I will say that you don't invest in a 39, 38-year-old quarterback unless you're going all in. And I don't think you're going to go all in with a rookie running back. Again, I hate to keep going back to it, but COVID-19 is not going to allow these teams a huge mini camp.
No.
And they're not going to allow these teams maybe even a training camp. So regardless of even if they draft a running back, you're still going to go with the Joe and they're going to go with Marlon Mack. So, and I feel the same thing in Pittsburgh with James Conner. And I think Marlon Mack's got headaches this time next year. I think they let him test free agency, but he's a cheap guy. I think they like him more than people think. And for those reasons, I think that the odds of them taking anybody in day 2 are very slim. And a day 3 running back would not intimidate me.
All right, make your pick.
Oh, my pick, man. I was debating between 2 guys, but one guy has got a DUI issue and he missed all of last year. So I'm going to go with Blake Jarwin of Kyle's Cowboys. It was between him and Chris Herndon. Familiarity. Blake Jarwin was there last year. Obviously, so was Cooper and Gallup. So whoever they bring in as a slot receiver, I don't think will command a huge target volume. And we've seen a rapport between Dak and Jarwin before. So just based on what I know, and I think their defense is bad. Sorry, Kyle, I know you're a Cowboys fan. I don't think their defense is particularly.
So pumped for it. It's gonna be horrible.
I don't think their defense is particularly good. And when your defense is bad in a division of fairly good offensive teams, and I think Washington will surprise some people, Give me Blake Jarwin, man.
Hey, Randy.
Yo,
What about Jack Doyle?
Detective
He
Jack
rules.
Doyle. I don't know.
Really?
Maybe.
What about-
Maybe.
What about Jared Cook? Was he available? Because no one took him.
He would have been my pick had the Saints not signed Emmanuel Sanders. Now that there's additional targets there, obviously Kamara's not going anywhere. Michael Thomas does not go anywhere. There's everywhere you go, they're mocked a rookie wide receiver. Who has any idea of what Traquan Smith's there? Just too many mouths to feed for me in that offense. So, and yes, I could say, well, he doesn't have any rapport with Emmanuel Sanders. I saw Emmanuel Sanders, a pro's pro, walk into San Francisco last year and demand a pretty quick target share right off the bat. So, too much going on there. I think Jarwin could easily be the third and sometimes maybe even the second most available option for Dak and a pretty good offense. The Cowboys were the sixth best offense in the league last year. So,
Well, and if we know anything too, it's Jarwin way over some scrub like Goddard or somebody like that. I mean, for God's sakes. Right, Seth?
Oh, boy.
All year, buddy. All year.
Yeah. I'm just going to let that one go so we can let the people go. But
Okay,
there will be words.
It's been a long one. Let me give a quick recap. So Memphis finishes off with Blake Jarwin, Daniel Jones at quarterback, James White, Tariq Cohen, Robert Woods, Darius Slayton. Kyle has got Drew Brees at running back, Duke Johnson, Ronald Jones, T.Y. and Cooks at wide receiver, and Gesicki at tight end. Seth has got, I have to look all the way to the end, Tom Brady at quarterback, and he's got DJ and Ingram at running back, AJ Green, Mike Williams at wide receiver, and OJ Howard. I picked Stafford.
Mate, some of those picks on Seth's team is like, when you see these wildlife shows.
It's like a time warp. And
you see a pack of lionesses hunting the herd, and there's one straight. There's all these old, the old lame sort of, one they're looking at. That's Seth's team. Seth's team is the straggler, like the lame wildebeest, just waiting to get taken down.
You know what they say, you don't have to be faster than a tiger, you just have to be faster than the slowest person.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the slowest person here is
It's Seth.
That actually might be true. I don't know.
I picked Matt Stafford at quarterback. I've got Henderson and Mustard at running back, Landry and Williams wide receiver, and Jonnu Smith at tight end. You went with Tannehill quarterback. You've got Phillip Lindsay and Damian Williams at running back, Devontae Parker, Tyler Boyd at wide receiver, and Hayden Hurst, the new Falcons tight end. And Mike went with Big Ben at quarterback, Sony Michel and Darius Geis at running back, Adam Thielen and Terry McLaurin wide receiver, and Ian Thomas at tight end. And there we go. And you know what? Surprisingly, there's some really nice players in there, really. I think there's some good value.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, at the flex spot for sure. I don't know. You'd be there's guys in there that if you're hoping to I don't think anybody on there is going to win you a week, is it? I'm just having a look. Is there any?
David Johnson.
I think
David.
Yeah, no,
Johnson.
get the hell out of here with that. I think when you're looking at this, some of the guys that were available because they're older, they didn't get excluded based off what we're working on. But I think there's some really good value at wide receiver. I mean, when you talk about even in the fourth round, McLaurin, Boyd, obviously Landry due to the injury, but Mike Williams, I think, still has a lot of upside. I mean, there's some guys super late. Slayton, solid.
I love my team. I really do. Like, Big Ben has always been kind of a top 10 type of guy. Thielen has always been a top 10 type of receiver. McLaurin, we think he can be that.
Yeah.
Obviously, my running back position is a little bit speculative, and frankly, Ian Thomas, maybe he is too. But with Olsen gone, I think he can be a dude. So I love my team. I like this draft. This was a lot of fun, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Well,
it's great having you on, and we'll keep all this, and I will each week, I will score,
God.
and I will put it out there, and we'll see how we go.
No, please let this be forgotten.
Yes.
This whole thing might be absolute trash in 2 weeks, G. Even. So,
There's a pretty good chance it's trash right now. I'm guessing.
well,
But if I look at this team, I'm probably I'm giving my vote at the moment. I must admit, I don't mind. I don't mind Randa's team at the moment. I'm not happy with mine at all. Basically, to be honest, I think I started. You like to reach the point of the mount before you start going downhill, but I think I started downhill before with my first pick.
I'm a big fan of Casey, just so we know.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys. Look, I'll let you wrap it up, AJ.
listen, thanks, guys, for coming on and doing this. It was a lot of fun, and certainly.
I think he muted himself.
Oh, who, me?
No, I hear you.
Oh,
No, I hear you, AJ.
okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it's and also, you know, it's challenging times around the world, and it's kind of fun to do things like this. And I think it's good for, you know, we sort of provide a little bit of something to pass the time for people who are kind of sitting twiddling their thumbs a little bit. And so, thank you guys, for everybody, for coming on. Obviously, Kyle and Seth, the FF fellas, who are pumping out content just week in, week out. You guys are brilliant. Randy, who's, I don't know, he's turned the light off. I don't know what he's done. Who's obviously had a lot of technical issues. And Randers, thanks for kind of sticking in there and doing your best with us. And Mike, thanks so much for joining us. And we'll have to get you on more often than just annually, because I think it was.
I'm trying to get on the fellas. I got some rookies here. I got some rookies.
And that's funny. That's funny that G brings that up, because watch for me on the fellas on this Tuesday's release.
Yes, I think you just you've kind of you might have. I can't think of a nice, polite way of saying it. You might have a sore ass, basically. I think you've been sitting there just... didn't you just have a pod with the guys?
Yeah, we
back to back?
We finished up and then came on here.
Yes, sir, man.
We might all need to go for a bit of a run.
Let you go. But let me just say that we had, which will be coming out in the next 24 hours, we had Matt Waldman on.
Yep.
Nice.
And, mate, he gave us... we actually spoke to him for 2.25 hours.
Damn.
And Waldman is somebody who, you know, I've been hanging around and writing articles and doing podcasts for a long time. Waldman is impressive. Every time you can talk to that dude, he knows his stuff. He does his research. Yep. He watches all the tape. Like, he is insightful for days. Love that guy. Yeah, and look, we have to put out in a 2-part, but you'll listen. I think we get close to an hour and we said, look, it's been great having you on. He's going, no, more. What? I said, mate, I've got 40 guys I've looked at. And he goes, we'll talk about all of them. And that's a guy giving his time, just absolutely awesome. So, have a listen to that.
Yes, sir.
That'll be coming out in the next 24.
Yeah, I'll drop that later today.
We'll get you on the show, Aussie guys.
Yes, we'd love to. Yeah.
Yes.
We like to wait until the end because we want to see as many sheets of paper from G as physically possible.
Yes.
And we just want to give you the most amount of time.
Just saying.
Rico. All right.
Oh, all right.
Sneak peek.
And if you want some, G, there's no way I can compete with G on the offensive side of the ball. But if you want some IDP, you want me to drop some IDP knowledge, then I'm happy to.
Absolutely. Is it defense?
Yeah, defense. Yeah, defense. Give me Kenneth Murray. Chargers get Kenneth Murray. I'll be very happy. So, I've been watching a lot of defensive guys. So, and if you haven't obviously Chase Young, as everyone knows about Chase Young, you just have to look at the guy's film because he is so impressive. He's worth just having a look at just to go, oh, far
Dude,
out.
I am so hoping. I so want him to make it to Detroit, man. I'm really rooting for that, man.
Believe me when I tell you, I want that to happen.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. So, you know, I talked about earlier, like if Young doesn't make it to Detroit at 3, I want them to trade that pick, like on the belief that they're going to take 2 or something like that. But realistically, I would gladly give up whatever King's ransom we could get for that, quarterback position if we could just get Young, because I think he's that big of a difference maker.
That'd be awesome.
He certainly looks it. He looks like he could be. You don't see guys like this. I think people compare him to. I think he's much better than either of the Boses or Myles Garrett. Really, honestly, you look at his film. It's just like
he's right there.
Far out.
He's in that caliber.
I mean, Joey. I feel Nick is better than Joey. Joey can be a bit one-dimensional, but you see Chase Young, man, he can win in so many damn ways. It's ridiculous. Like you can't hold that guy off for if you can hold him off your quarterback for 2 seconds, you're doing a good job, I reckon.
And that's why there's no way he's going to make it to Detroit, because we don't have that kind of luck in Detroit. Like it always just goes sideways.
Oh man, what? I mean, not to keep this going longer, but AJ, you mentioned Tua to the Chargers. What are you hoping for? Is that what you're hoping for? Or?
Oh yeah. Look, I think it makes sense on a couple of fronts. The moves they've made this offseason have been a bit of a tell, I reckon, because they've really shored up the right-hand side of the offensive line. And it's like, look, they've been good signings because our O-line stunk. But just the fact that they have kind of really Trey Turner, who's going to be playing right guard, and Brian Bulaga, and it's kind of like, well, you guys are kind of putting a lot into that right-hand side of the line. It makes sense. Look, it might not pan out like that on draft day, but it would not surprise me if they try to move up to 3. We can throw the Lions a 7th or something, maybe. Move from 6 to 3. I reckon that sounds about right.
Get him a tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But honestly, I think in this day and age,
yeah.
and especially you're going into a new stadium in a city that absolutely hates you, you might as well go and make a splash signing, get someone like Tua who you can, actually create a bit of buzz about. And look, it'll cost them to go
they
from
almost
6
have
to 3.
right?
Yeah, I reckon.
That's the thing. What if they don't get Tua? Like, what? I mean, do you really think? Are you believing this Tyrod stuff? Do you think Herbert's fine if they stand pat?
They can't. They couldn't even sell out college stadiums last
that's
year.
No.
I mean, they have to. It's like go big or go home.
I feel like if they don't get
Dude, it's not even
Tua,
a college stadium; it's a soccer stadium.
I feel like
That's true.
if you don't
It's
get,
like, man, it's even smaller.
I reckon they'll wait and see what happens at 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
If someone doesn't jump up to take Tua or Tua is still on the board, then they might pull the pin,
Lions.
go for the Lions, pick Tua.
Yep.
If Tua goes, I reckon you wait to 6, you pick Isaiah Simmons, and you go sign Cam Newton.
Cam.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
Yeah. I'm with you. They got their weapons on offense are so damn good. I just don't feel like you can waste it. Like, I like Tyrod, but I mean, come on. We've seen this 100 times.
He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah, you gotta get somebody else in there.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see him land Winston or Cam. But I love Mike Williams and Henry and Allen. I don't want those guys wasted this year by Tyrod Taylor and no one else.
And it's kind of a perfect situation, honestly, because they can sit there on draft day. They can see if the chips fall the right way, and you've got Cam, who's a free agent, which is ridiculous, and they can sign him, and that's brilliant. So it's like, they're not going to be sold up the river if it doesn't sort of pan out. But I'd love to.
And my Lions have all the leverage in the world.
Yeah,
but
they do.
Like in Detroit here, we've just never seen them take advantage of situations like that. So I'm so tentative to, just kind of like be presumptive that they're going to do what's right in this situation, because that's not what it's been for, forever, basically.
Yeah.
And, we still have a Ford as the leader of the team. So obviously it's a different Ford, but it's been the same family for generations. So
right.
I'm so nervous that we're going to screw this up, even though all the chips are kind of in our corner right now.
Lions don't have a real good draft history.
No, for sure.
And the Chargers have been okay, patchy. We've had some good years, but there's a bit of pressure on our GM, Tom Telesco, because the last draft or two, he's had some whiffs, and I think they really should have, there were some opportunities to go pick up quarterbacks rather than kind of wait till Rivers was out of the building. But mind you, I think maybe this was the year. I mean, look, the last few I shouldn't say last few quarterback classes. There's been some picks that they could have made, for sure.
Mate, the Chargers have almost become one of the most irrelevant teams in the NFL.
Well, unfortunately,
it sucks.
Especially where they are.
Talent-wise, I think that, I like where they're at. It's just...
Yeah, it's when they went back to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They became irrelevant.
You literally chose to be second fiddle. I mean, forever. You will never be the number one team in LA because you're playing in someone else's building all the time. I mean, it just wasn't smart, I don't think. But
and frankly, like, we knew, like, there was this little bit of animosity between Phillip Rivers and the team, like, going back to last year for sure. Like, I mean, we even had those stories, like, he wouldn't move to LA because he wanted to be by his family and he was going to take, like, a bus or whatever the hell it was to the practice facility. Like, there was all this weirdness for sure. So, like, you had opportunity to try to figure out get his, replacement in line at least. And everyone knew that this was not the year where you wanted to be looking for a quarterback because the class is not deep. So I put that a little bit on the management as well, that, maybe you could have kept Rivers for one more year. Like, if you really thought you kind of had some kind of leverage to keep him for one more year, this is not the year you want to be digging for a quarterback. So you should have at least tried to plan for the future. And it's not a great year to be digging deep for a quarterback because I don't think those guys are there. Yeah. So once you get past Burrow into maybe you can find a guy, but
it's funny because you mentioned it, and you mentioned it on our show, Mike, but you were like, the class isn't deep, and I guess hadn't really thought of that, but I mean, it really is super top heavy. This isn't like those years, with like the Darnold, Mayfield, Allen, like where you're going to see 5 or 6 guys drafted in the first round. I mean, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 just because of the nature of the position. But I mean, Herbert is kind of coming in at that consensus 3. Is he deserving of that pick?
He's
in the top 10. I mean, that's the thing. Like, and the 4th guy will probably get drafted just because. But, man, I don't know. It's super tough. I feel like if you're like, if you look at Carolina, is Carolina picking before the Chargers or one pick after? One pick after, right?
Chargers are at 6.
I think I saw Carolina's like a pick or 2 after them.
Maybe they're 7. Yeah.
Yeah, like they made the decision. They made the business decision to be like, well, we're not going to pay up to go get somebody because we're not close. So we'll stopgap this thing. Like they definitely aren't going to. They weren't going to wait and just see who fell in their lap. Like they went and they got Bridgewater and we'll just see how it goes. They'll shoot for next year, but
right, and they're playing a strategy because there's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks out next year. Next year's class is definitely a stronger quarterback class. I mean, you've got obviously you got Lawrence and you've got Fields and it's just generally overall like a better quarterback class. So I think they're going to try to roll with Bridgewater and see kind of what he is, because I think a lot of people have questions about what he is, because obviously we've had some injury history and kind of playing backup and stuff like that. I think he's just one of those guys they're going to test the waters and see what he can do this year. And then, worst case scenario, they've got a good class coming out next year.
That's the Bear strategy, Seth.
Well, it's been fun being on the show, guys. Thanks so much for having us on. Kyle, screw you. But no, it's always a pleasure being on the show, guys. So
thanks, guys. We've gone over the 2-hour mark. We should wrap it up. But it's been great. Thank you so much for joining us, fellas, and thanks for those who have been watching along live and posting questions and comments and things. That's always fun for us. But hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're watching this back or listening to it, thank you so much for doing so. And make sure you catch all of these guys. Obviously, the Dynasty Warzone, the FF Fellas. Mike, what are you doing pod-wise these days? Are you...
I really haven't been doing too much pod-wise. I'm guesting on the Fellas that we talked about earlier. But I'm doing writing on fakepigskin.com.
Nice.
So a lot of these rookie guys that we're talking about here, I'm doing rookie draft profiles on. So you can find me on there.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, everybody. G's showing us all these many reams of paper.
That's just wide receivers. Get me on. Fellas. Wide receivers, man.
All right, you got this to look forward to.
Matt Waldman's supposed to be...
Got him.
Oh,
The
man.
intro for everybody on today's show.
Okay.
And
All right.
there we go.
I'll wrap this puppy up.
We're done.
Thank you, everybody.
G's gone.
And
Thanks.
cheers, everyone. Keep safe, keep well, and where's he gone? All right, I hit end broadcast. Thanks, everybody.
gone.
See you later.